For this exercise, we're going to create a word list, and then we're going to create a word count from that list of words. So I've got a quote from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland that we're going to use. We've used this before. So I've already got the program started. We're calling it wordcount.java. We'll pick up right after we've assigned the quote to our variable text. So the first thing we're going to do is create an array by using the split method to split on a space. So I've taken out all the punctuation as I did before, and all we're left with is words and spaces. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to sort the array into alphabetical order by calling the sort method from the arrays class. Now we're going to introduce a count variable, which we'll use later to track how many times a word appears in the quote. Now we're going to print a list of the words, so we'll have a list to work from. That's what this for loop does. Now we're ready to begin building the word count. We're going to use a tree map object with string and integer as the key and the value. The word will be the key, and the number of times the word appears will be the value. And we'll call our object word list. So that creates the object. Now we're going to create two variables, this word and next word. We use that to work through the word list, checking to see if a word appears more than once. You'll see how that works in just a moment. In fact, we'll start that right now. So we're going to write a for loop. And in that for loop, the first thing we're going to do is take the current word and assign it to this word. And at that point, we'll increment count by 1 for the first occurrence of a word. Then we'll assign the next word, the I+1 word, to the variable next word. Then we can perform what I like to call a negative comparison. So we're saying if not this word equals next word, put this word and the current count into the tree map word list, and then set count back to 0 because we're getting ready to start looking for a new word. Otherwise, stop the loop. So what's going to happen here is we're going to be comparing the current word and the next word, this word and the next word, the word that comes after the current word. If they're not the same, then we put this word and the number of times this word appears in our tree map object word list and set the count back to 0. Otherwise, go back up to the top of the loop and start over again. Now, this works very well for an even number of words. There is a problem with odd number of words, so let me add that piece of code in, although we have an even number of words in this particular little comment here to talk about handling an odd word list count. This will get the last word in the array and put it into next word. And then we'll check to see if it's equal to what's in this word. And if so, increment count. Otherwise, then this is the only occurrence of that word, and set count equal to 1, and we're done. And then finally put that last word into the word list, but we only need to do that if we have an odd number of words. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if words.length mod 2 not equal to 0, word list put next word count. And in fact, what we might choose to do is put all of this into a if statement. This is a touch inefficient. I'll leave it as an exercise for the viewer to put all of this code inside this if to only occur if we have an odd number of words. We'll leave it like it is for now and move on to the rest of the lesson. The next thing we want to do is we want to generate a listing of the words and the word count. So to do that, we're going to have to create what's called an entry set. which is a set of all of the entries in the word list. So we do that by using the set class and create a set object, and then call the entry set method of word list to create that set. Next, we create an iterator to allow us to move through the set. And then we say while I has next, in other words, while there is a entry to display, get it, that's what I.next does, and cast it into a map entry object. In other words, a key value pair. Then display the key. And then display the value, just like so. And that's all we have to do. So let's save our code. Compile it. And there's our list. We have a list of the words first. Let me scroll back up so you can see that. Then we have a list of the number of times the word appears. Let's pick one to test it. She appears 10 times. Let's go back up into our word list. Find she, and let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yes, indeed, she does appear 10 times. Let's look at 2 real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times for 2. We'll find it in our word count. 2 is 9. So we could take our time and go through each one of these. That's not necessary, but our program works as advertised. So with that, we wrap up this exercise and we wrap up this chapter on associative containers.